this is a beautiful morning and a lovely weekend out here in the city of Lagos, and we are super excited to be here with you and to make sure that we keep you updated on the goings that we have on our newspaper review. So this is your morning dew and your newspaper review. I am your host, Modo Dominic, and with me as always are my wonderful co-hosts. So apparently today I am wearing native with allergy. I am wearing native with Engineer Ola today. So isn't that fantastic? So Engineer Ola, how are you today?
Well, thank God, I'm fine.
So today?
I'm happy too. Thank God today is Friday.
Yeah, today is Friday. It's so good to have you. Right, how are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, everywhere you are. It's good to be back on set, and it's good to be alive today. Yeah.
Apparently you are the only external candidate not wearing native.
No, I'm dressing down. I'm just dressing down. This is casual. Okay.
All right. We'll go for a quick break, and when we come back, we'll let you know what we have for our newspaper review, and then we'll take our quotes for the day. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Yes, thanks for staying tuned. So quickly, we'll take a look at what we have for on our quotes for the day. So could you help with that?
All right. Good morning, brethren. Praise the Lord. It's good to be alive today. The quote for today says, "He has shown you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, and to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." Now, today is that's taken from the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8. And today is charging us to live a life of justice, a life of mercy, and a life of humility, and reflecting God's heart in your actions. That is, whatever you do, please put justice into recognition. Whatever you're doing, whatever you want to, anytime you want to pass judgment on someone, you have to temper justice with mercy and live your life with mercy. Have mercy on people, because whatever you sow is what you will reap. Okay. And we should live a life of humility. You know, the Bible says that God resists the proud and he exalts the humble. And also reflecting God's heart in your action, whatever you are doing. Before you do that thing, why not think and say, what would God do if I do this? So this is a charge for us this morning, that we should live our life based on justice, on mercy, on humility, and thinking about what God will think when we do our thing. Praise God.
Yes, thank you so much for that quote, and I'm sure that we've learned something from the quotes of the day. So quickly, let's take a look at the stories that we have, and we'll be taking our story from, first story would be from the Punch newspaper as usual. Okay, so, and the first story says Naira crumbles to 920/dollar. Film marketers push for fresh price hike. Oil marketers on Thursday insisted on a possible hike in the pump price of premium motor spirit, popularly called petrol, following a further plunge in the value of the Naira against the United States dollar. The local currency weakened against the greenback at the black market from 900 $, on Wednesday to 920 $, on Thursday, raising further concern about whether the pump price of the petrol could be sold at the current price. The naira, which at hit 944 $, at the parallel market about 2 weeks ago, rebounded last week. However, the local currency began a move southward this week. A situation that has been unsettled. Okay, so this is the story that we have. Let me not read further. So you can find that story on the Punch newspaper. So looking at what is currently going on, and then we have people requesting for hike in fuel price. So if these people are requesting for hike in fuel price, what is the take of the masses? So what's your take, Engineer?
Well, as long as the petrol pump price depends on forex, it has to do with the exchange rate. So what I think the government should do now is to call the meeting of renowned economists, sit down to find a possible solution to this forex problem in Nigeria today. It does not affect only the fuel, the pump price of the fuel, but also essential commodities in the country. As long as dollars keep on rising, and then naira value is depreciating, it has to be like this. If you are exchanging naira to $1 for $920 per dollar, so those people that are importing fuel into the country, I mean the petroleum marketers, what do you think they are going to do? They have to increase the price of fuel for them to maximize profit. The aim of every businessman is to make profit, and the marketers are now crying, except the government now will now turn back and apply subsidy again, maybe about 95 naira subsidy to assist these marketers. Otherwise, that's nothing that could be done, except they call the renowned economists, sit down and deliberate progressively on the issue of this naira to dollar issue. Otherwise, I do not see any solution at all. If you are telling them not to increase the pump price of petroleum, how would they go about it? When the dollar keep on rising, the dollar is floating every day. So today it will depreciate, tomorrow it will appreciate.
Okay, so are you saying that the only way forward is for them to request for a hike in price?
For now, that is the only solution, except the government wants to apply subsidy again, maybe about 95 naira subsidy, to be able to assist them. If you don't want the price of fuel to go up in Nigeria, then the government has to go back again and apply subsidy. If they don't want to do that, what I'm suggesting is that government should call the renowned economists in Nigeria. We have professors of economics in Nigerian universities. Call all of them, hold meeting. What can we do to salvage the situation? Otherwise, it will go out of hand. That's my take on this.
Okay, White.
Yeah, seriously. Good morning, everybody. It's a very good one. Okay, but to many Nigerians, this morning, it might not be a palatable news to hear, because average Nigerian would not want to hear another hike in the fuel pump price. The price of petrol is already
at the moment.
At the moment, is eating deep into the lives and the economy of everyone. Hardship everywhere. People are struggling to eat, struggling to go to work. Transport is taking most of the income, and right now, dollar rising to 920. So almost 1,000 naira per dollar. So we Nigeria needs to do more. The CBN acting governor needs to do more on this, and I guess sometimes maybe last week or maybe in the beginning of this week or last week, he meted out a kind of a measure to make sure the dollar stays stable or maybe reduced. That's pumping dollar into the economy, and devaluing the dollar a bit, as in compared to naira.
Yeah.
But seriously, I don't know if that step has been taken. I'll still do my research on that. But seriously, the long and short of it is that hiking the fuel price, it will not go down with many Nigerians right now. As much as every businessman wants to make money and wants to make profit, yes, and that is on the part of the marketers. Yes, you want to, when you go into business, you don't want to lose. You don't want to lose your money, okay? But still, we will still have to look at what is the effect, the after effect is going to put on the masses, the average and the poor Nigerians. It's really sad. But I just pray, and we want the government. I'm speaking on behalf of many Nigerians right now. We want the government to please work on this. If it will take them to bring back subsidy, maybe they should bring it back, I think.
All right, so we'll take a look at the second story that we have on the Punch newspaper, and this says falling slabs trapped us while fleeing Abuja collapsed building. This is a report from the victim. It says a two-story building located at Lagos Crescent in the Gaki 2 area of Abuja collapsed on Wednesday night, killing 2 and leaving 35 others injured. The collapse, according to the eyewitness and victim account, occurred at about 11 p.m. following a heavy downpour that began at about 10 p.m. Recall that the Federal Emergency Agency said that the 35 victims rescued alive had been taken to hospitals across the Federal Capital Territory, including the National Hospital, Abuja, and the Asokoro, Nyanya, and Gaki District Hospital, amongst others. So this is the second story that we have on the Punch newspaper, and you can also find that. You can read through to also know more stories on that. But it's so sad that that we are having cases of collapsed building, and then, you know, having them even being trapped by a slab. So does it mean that something is not going on well, and we are not paying attention to the constructions, that buildings that are being erected in Nigeria? You know, it's been a long time we heard about all of this, but I think was it sometime last year one happened in Calabar, and then this again. So what exactly do we need to do? What exactly is going wrong? Is it that we don't have people paying attention, or those who are put in the position of paying attention to buildings and making sure that they are being erected properly and the right things are being used, they are not doing their job? So, Engineer Ola.
No, you see, we have to go back again to education. That is, we have to lay more emphasis on our education in the country. And because, you know, to erect a building, there are many factors that are involved. Materials are involved, labor is involved, supervision is involved. All these areas are lacking. For example, if you want to design a building, let's say a hiking building, you need structural engineers. Now, what is Nigerian Society of Engineers doing? The Society of Nigerian Civil Engineers doing? You know, their job is to protect and safeguard industry by making sure that qualified Nigerians who are qualified civil engineers are being employed. That is one aspect of it. And again, before you graduate from the university, you must have practical knowledge, adequate practical knowledge. I don't understand what is really happening now.
The question is, do we even have all the amenities that are needed to make sure that they go through the practical aspects of it in Nigeria?
Yeah, I'm going through this now. Okay, structurally, when you want to design a building, if it is properly structured and designed, you work according to the design of that building. That is the work of the structural engineers to do that. But when we lack qualified structural engineers, such things will be happening. We are not talking about accidents alone now, but we are talking about mismanagement. And additionally, when you look at the people that are working on site, most of them are not skilled. They are not skilled laborers. Even if you go to vocational schools, let me give an example in Ghana. In Ghana, just very close to Nigeria, in Ghana there, they cherish education importantly, because if you see a bricklayer in Ghana, working as a bricklayer in Ghana, is educated. You can go to school and study building technology to diploma level. That does not say you are not qualified.
Exactly.
When you look at construction site, how many engineers will be on site? Maybe 2, 3, 4 engineers.
As if they have up to 4.
Yes, most of the
in some cases it's just
most
one.
of the people you see working on our bridges from China, most of them are not engineers. They are technical people, but they know what they are doing. They have the practical knowledge. They have the theoretical knowledge. If you have the theoretical knowledge, your practical will be based on the theory you know. But when you don't have adequate, skilled workmen,
Experts.
what do you expect? Again, we are talking about quality managers. Most of our sites, we don't have quality managers to manage the site. Okay, we want to erect a beam, in the sea for a bridge. Like I could remember there was a time they were constructing. If you are going to Osogbo, and after Bogon, before you get to Osogbo, there is a bridge there's a bridge across River Osun. When they are constructing that bridge, they had to go back. When they were unable to do it, invite an engineer from Germany to assist. So it took them more than 2 years before they could finish that bridge. That means we don't have qualitative people to do the job. They're talking about materials that they use. Most of the vendors, material vendors, most of the traders selling materials, they bring in fake materials to the country. And that now rests on the shoulder of Nigerian Standards Organization, who are supposed to monitor quality materials, quality raw materials coming into the country. All aspects of industry today, they bring in fake goods, and it's affecting Nigerians. Look at these people. Some of them have died because myself or yourself or anybody is bringing in fake materials into the country in the name of making money. They go to China, they can buy a pipe in China for only $2. And they sell it in Nigeria for 50,000 naira. They want to make more profits at the expense of somebody's life. So Nigerian Standard Organization should not wake up. They've been sleeping. And make sure that those goods that are coming to the country are standard goods, not inferior materials. Go to any of the market in Lagos. I don't want to mention anybody's name. Go to any of the market in Lagos and say, okay, I want to buy building materials. They will sell to you fake. Sometimes they have to refurbish the material and resell to you in the name of I want to make profit. So governments have to look into this. Our educational institute, the curriculum has to be changed, practically oriented, that when you become a graduate, you can work effectively on that particular field that you have chosen. Otherwise, we have the same problem all over. They build skyscrapers in India. You go to India, the Indians are doing it on their own. Go to Pakistan, the Pakistanis are building, they are erecting their building. Go to Brazil, the same thing, but in Nigeria, except we have to call foreigners. And if you do it on our own, I have done. Why? Because there's no supervision. We have able Nigerians working in Saudi Arabia as engineers. We have Nigerians working all over the world as engineers, and they are doing very very well. But in the country, it's full of fake engineers, fake materials, and fake everything.
It's really so sad because not like we do not have these people who are supposed to supervise the jobs that are going on, in site. But when they get there, because of their selfish interest and the bribe that they want to get, they just pick them, and then before you know, they are off. They do not even wait to supervise what's going on. The moment they're coming, okay, just make sure that you have something on ground for them. The same thing is affecting other sectors. So I just wish that we could pay attention to life more than what we are getting from people, and then we are not letting out on the things that are more important. Let's hear from you.
I think one of the things that I need to add to what we have said right now is that if there is a way to resensitize or restructure or change our belief techniques, let's change our orientation in this country, that quality comes first. Quality comes first. We have to take that into cognizance. If our government parastatals institutions, are just, just sweeping many things under the carpet without checking them. There are no checks in places. Do you understand? That's why anybody can just do whatever he or she likes and sell it. Do you understand? If the Standard Organization of Nigeria, the SON, is doing their job well, there are some structures that should not be erected. I've seen many structures, especially in my area, in my community, that has been marked to be demolished. Marked. They will come there physically. They mark this building. This building must not continue. That the government is going to demolish it. And at the end of the day, what do we see? The building goes ahead to be completed, painted, branded, and in fact, we will even go for the party of the government ceremony of those buildings. So what are we saying? That means you're giving everybody the go ahead that don't worry, just do whatever you like. Now, from this story now, if you see somebody said something, just like Yoruba proverb, that when you throw stones in the market, it will eventually boomerang and come over to meet either your friend, your family, your relative, your concubine, anyone. Don't throw stones. It's not about being wicked alone. Sometimes when you do some things, when you do business dealings, is the karma is going to come back.
Exactly. Yeah. All right, thank you. Quickly, let's take the last story that we have from the Punch newspaper. And this says, ECOWAS military action won't yield positive results in Niger, Russian envoy. On July 26th, the military struck in the Niger Republic and removed Mohamed Bazoum, who assumed office as the democratically elected president of the country in April 2021. The first appointed the commander of the country's presidential guard, Abdurrahman Tiani, as the head of state, despite sanction opposed by the ECOWAS community of West African states and the pressure from the West. The junta has refused to relinquish power. ECOWAS has also threatened military intervention in the country, but the junta remained adamant. So this was an interview that was with Oyetunji Abioye. So, Engineer.
Now, you see, this situation is becoming a complex situation. Why I say this is because, according to this Russian ambassador, what he's saying is that they don't have power over these Wagner warriors. They have left Russia. And we heard in the news some time ago that they have arrived in Mali. And what is the purpose of coming down to Mali? Is to assist Malians to fight terrorists in Mali. We are now talking about situation in Niger. Russian envoy in Lagos is now saying that, the Wagner warriors are not any longer in Russia, that they are on their own. So what they are saying in essence is that they can no longer control the Wagner warriors. Now they are saying if there's any usage of military intervention in Niger, it's going to be a boomerang effect on the whole African continent. Let me say West Africa. There are lots of people that are involved now in this phenomenon. France is there, America is there, Italy is there, ECOWAS is coming on board, AU is preparing. So they don't want military intervention. It's like a warning that the Russians are saying that, hey, if you want to apply military intervention to this phenomenon, it's going to boomerang. And it's a wind that will blow nobody good. We have to be very careful. It's a kind of warning to us that we have to be very careful. And again, our president is now saying that I'm under pressure, but also I may not want to use military intervention. But at the same time, I have to be very, very careful on the step I'm going to take. So I think this is kind of warning to Nigerian government that the president of ECOWAS, who is our president, should tread softly and should not invite problem into the country. Already we have crisis in Nigeria today. We don't want to add more. So we have to be very, very careful.
Diplomatic
on
about
any step
it.
we are going to take. Because if we are not careful, Third World War may start from the soil of Africa. You can only know the beginning of a battle. You cannot say how the end would be. That's my take on that.
Okay, this is really becoming a back and forth thing, and I hope that they really come to a conclusion before time. Okay, before this goes out of hand, and then it becomes something that we cannot control. Okay, so I know you really want to say something, but let's go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take the stories that we have, and we'll also hear what White has to say, because I'm sure there's a whole lot buckled up inside that he has to say about this story. So we'll be right back shortly. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Moplex. Thank you very much. I appreciate my goodness. Thank you, Moplex TV. Oh my God. What do we have here? Oh wow. Oh really?
Yes, with the wine.
All of this.
Yes.
And this?
Yes.
Oh my God. Thank you. Everything. Thank you so much. So what's gonna happen?
Yes.
Thank you, Moplex. Thank you very much. I appreciate my goodness. Thank you. And keep on watching. Wow, this is so cute. Thank you. We offer our subscribers daily subscription options for as low as 120 Naira on Jara and 250 Naira on Federal.
Moplex.
Thank you, Moplex. Thank you very much. I appreciate my goodness.
Is still your newspaper review on Morning Dew, and we want to look at the story that we have on Vanguard newspaper. So quickly, let's take a look at the first story that we have, and this says LP crisis, Abure Apapa clash over Imo appeal court ruling. The Julius Abure and Lamidi Apapa led functions of the Labour Party have disagreed over a ruling of an appeal court in Owerri, the Imo State capital, on Thursday. While Apapa and his supporters claimed that the court dismissed Abure as national chairman and affirmed their candidate as the authentic chairman, the Abure-led Labour Party dismissed such claims as a fake news. According to reports emanating from the Apapa-led camp, the appeal court also dismissed the governorship and other candidates sponsored by the Abure-led National Working Committee, while affirming Apapa's leadership of the party. Okay, so Let me start with you, Engineer. What's your take on the story?
Well, you see, in the world of politics, there's no permanent enemy and no permanent friend. Today they fight, tomorrow they resolve their fight. I think Labour Party, they have to sit together and settle whatever is causing wahala in the party. I don't know how they want to go. They want to move forward with this kind of situations. I don't really understand what is really going on. You know, the court has ruled, and there's still argument again over the ruling of the court. So where are we going? I don't understand. I think the Labour Party, the elders in the Labour Party should come together and find a lasting solution to this problem. Otherwise, the party will go nowhere.
Let's hear from you.
Okay, mine will be a little bit controversial because I don't know why a house will be divided against itself. You know, and it's a popular saying that a house divided against itself cannot stand.
Exactly.
Many political parties in this country have experienced these factions and factional members, factional leadership, and stuff like that. I think at this point in time, the new generation, speaking for a lot of youth right now, we are tired of hearing this. Our elders, our leaders, who are being factional, divided for power, for positions, for things that are not supposed to be divided. So what lessons are they giving? What lessons are they teaching us? What message are they passing to us? What legacy do they want to leave for us? PDP has different party leaders, but when somebody is, in fact, it's a kind of challenge when someone is leaving, and then there is fight, there is chaos on who wants to be the leader, who is supposed to be the leader, who is supposed not to be, and now Labour Party. I mean, I do not want to go into the nitty-gritty of politics because Engineer Ola will do that very well for his wealth of experience.
No, like Engineer Ola will always say, anything that has to do with politics.
I want you know. So for me, I'm just going to look at the surface of the whole thing. Let's have a house that is organized. Let's have a political party that is organized. If your house is not in order, how do you now put the community in order? Because the governing of a country even starts not even from the party. Now let's start from the smallest unit, which is the family. Okay, if your house is not in order and you want to become the chairman the leader of the chairman of the street, of the community, of the local government, talking about being a governor or being a president. So I just want to appeal to these parties. You people should come together. Okay, have a consensus. Who do you want to be your leader? And have a concluded. This is not that we have section here, and for Paul, and for Apollo, and for Peter, and for James.
We keep going back and forth.
And we keep going back and forth inside political party, talk less of the whole nation as a whole. That's why we are having divided interest. I beg your pardon. In this country today, let there be a house. In fact, this goes to every other organizations, institutions. We have these peculiar problems in almost everywhere. Almost everywhere. You see a workplace, you get to a workplace, you say, I'm for this person, I'm not for this person, you know, you're having factions and then fights.
Okay.
Everywhere is toxic, you know. So we need to I wish that we can have this mind of patriotism. You see, I think patriotism comes first. Not the positions, not the interests, not what you're going to gain from where you belong.
Okay, so thank you for that contribution. Let's look at the next story, and this says 24 banks lose 9.75 billion naira in Q2 2023 as fraud rises to 277%. Deposit money banks in Nigeria have reported a sharp rise in fraud cases and the amount of money lost in the second quarter of 2023, Q2 23. The latest report also shows that the number of insiders' involvement rose astronomically. The total amount involved in the fraud cases during the period rose also to 9.75 billion naira, up by a whopping sum of 276.99% from 2.58 billion naira in the preceding quarter. The total losses to the incident amount to 5.79 billion naira during the period, representing a staggering point of 1,125%. Okay, so this is another story that we also have on the Vanguard newspaper, and it's so sad that we are always having this, keeps coming up every now and then to now even find out that we have more insiders involved in this fraud case of having to, you know, this back and forth thing is quite alarming. Yeah. So let me hear from you, please.
Okay, now the banking sector in Nigeria needs to up their game technologically and you know, and physically also. I mean, if I can just say that. This whole story, let me break it down for the purpose of those who are watching us right now. Let's break it down. When you put your money in the bank, what security do you have that this money is safe? You know, I mean, academically, primarily, we know the bank is a place where you keep your money. That's the definition we are given in primary school, primary school, secondary school. Bank is a place where you keep your money safe. But I've heard, not recently, just yesterday, I saw a video on the net of a woman complaining bitterly that she had been debited of a sum of 1.2 million naira in her bank. I will not mention the name of the bank. I know the bank very well. If I mention it's a popular bank. Now, 1.2 million naira, just like that. She didn't buy anything. She didn't pay for anything. She didn't sign for anything. She didn't transfer to anybody. And just like that, 1.2 million naira left her account. And she got into the banking hall, creating scene, acting drama, turning the whole place upside down. Now, that is bad for business. That is bad for that bank especially, and even for it even resolved to a case of drama inside the banking hall. So what am I trying to say? The bank, yes, they are trying. It's not easy. It is not easy, okay? But I think there are still some loopholes where they are not feeling in the banking sector, where fraud is now, because we said it, was it not 2 days ago, that criminals and fraudsters every day are upgrading themselves, every minute upgrading themselves. Do you know? I don't know if you have had that experience, or maybe in general has had that experience, that somebody will just call you and say, hello, so from so bank.
Exactly.
Because they've gone into your profile and they've seen your transactions and blah blah blah, and they'll be telling you, we want to upgrade your account from so to so, as if your account is an app that you downloaded from Play Store. You know, these people are beginning to, they upgrade themselves every now and then, and it will shock you. It will shock you that they keep doing these things, and even with the news going round that there are fraudsters, people are duping people still fall for their tactics. Why? They are always upgrading themselves. So I think the banking sector generally, the Central Bank of Nigeria, and whoever, all the stakeholders, they need to up their game technologically, because technology is emerging every day. And that's my take on it. Thank you very much.
All right. Over to you, Engineer.
Now, you see, like every company, you must have a fraud or security department. And it's all over the world. You know, people tend to attack bank. So the bank must not sleep. You have to prepare for this. For example, when you want to make budget as a nation, you make budget, you have put it into account, the account of smugglers, that these smugglers, this is where they will operate. But what am I going to do to be able to stop this operation? So the fraud in the bank has been there before now. That is why most of the banks, every day they update their apps, they change their apps. But what I think is strongly needed is that in most of these banks, they must have a department for police to investigate such matters. It's all over the world. It also happens in America, in Europe, in so many countries. But Nigeria should not sleep and start snoring because of these people. Something has to be done. I'm only appealing to the bankers that Nigerians put their trust in you. That's why they put their money in your bank. Make sure you update your security policies all the time.
All right, thank you so much. So quickly, let's take a look at the story that we have in the Nation newspaper. Okay, before we go to the Nation newspaper, let's take the last story from Vanguard. And this says, Tinubu blames clerical error for discrepancies on Chicago varsity certificate. The story says President Bola Tinubu has said a clerical error was responsible for discrepancies on the certificates issued to him by the Chicago State University. Okay, so according to the feelings by Oluwole Afolabi and Christopher Kamikel, Tinubu's lawyer, and an unidentified clerk of the university made the error about the dates the school started on his recently issued certificate, thereby creating the appearance of differences. A U.S. court had given Tinubu up till 23 August 23rd rather, to make a formal filing on why his record should not be released to the former vice president. The president claimed that he holds a Bachelor of Science degree in business administration from the Chicago State University, but Atiku Abubakar, candidate of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) in the February presidential election, alleged that Tinubu's academic record were forged. Unfortunately, in the responding to the illegal and invalid subpoena, CSU made several errors. The president's lawyer said CSU issued a new diploma for Bola A. Tinubu. So this is also a story the last story that we have on Vanguard newspaper. So seeing that we are having cases like this, and then I really do not know the interest of or why Atiku Abubakar is going back and forth and then just looking for things to say about Tinubu. Maybe there is more to this, like we said the last time, that, you know, aside from the fact that he didn't win the election and then Tinubu was now made the president, maybe there is more to it that we do not know. So, Engineer Ola, what can you say about the story?
You see, sometimes ago I said to somebody that in India, these politicians, they will go as far as bomb a whole train, and all the passengers in the coach will die because they want to achieve their aim. Now, very well, Tinubu was an accountant with a very big oil company in Nigeria where he worked. So, obviously, everybody knows that Tinubu is
certified.
Educated. You understand? He's a certified accountant. You know, when you are now dragging to the extent of ridiculing your country, you have to go to US and say, I want to see the certificate of my opponent.
Honestly, it's like we don't even know that we're bringing our country,
and say that my
country to
academically is not qualified. Buhari ruled us in this country. They say Buhari has no heck, no this. I don't know why these politicians are doing this. You have not come up to say that this is my solution to Nigerian problem economically. This is what I can do. I can solve it. Okay, I challenge Tinubu for an interview. for us to talk on a particular subject. You are now dragging and saying Tinubu is not qualified, he does not have a BSc. No, I don't want to. This, you see, the politicians. Personally, I don't like talking about
meddling
them.
in their affairs.
I don't like at all. I don't like talking about them because if they tell you A today, they will tell you Z tomorrow. They are not consistent at all. So I don't want to say things about them. I don't know why you are fighting your opponent. This is a country that belongs to all of us. If you don't win this time, maybe next time your luck may shine. Why do you have to go and brandish the name of Nigeria in the mud in the USA? No US president has ever come to Nigeria and talked bad or back about, you know.
You're even going far. You're even going far by saying the president,
by saying that
no individual.
Today, President Bola Tinubu is Nigerian president. As of today, so everything you are not saying about him today will become history tomorrow. I think these politicians, I don't know what to say about them.
They really need to pay attention to details because at this point they are bringing our country to an open book and say this is how we are. We can't even settle things amicably amongst us, and then we now have to bring in external candidates. And no.
Yes. Do you want to call me? Okay. Now listen. I beg to differ. I beg to differ because we all are agitating and we're expecting that change will happen in this country. And if we are expecting change to happen, now, do you know that when they say something is good, how do you achieve that good thing? Somebody said something sometimes, I don't know if it's a public statement. It said, freedom is won by different means. You can either win your freedom by force, by talk, by agreement. But whichever way you want to do it, freedom can be won in many ways. Now, back to what we are talking about. If we want a change in this country, I think the change should be a total change. And there is a process. We know, yes. And we will trust the process. And I think the process is is part of the things that is happening right now. If the credibility of a public office holder is questionable, then do we now say pardon the person just because he has attained the seat of office? I think that is wrong. If you are a public person now and everything about you is questionable, then you are leaving a legacy to continue that kind of life. And we can't, the Bible says we can't continue in sin and say grace should abound. No, far from it. God forbid. God forbid. Okay, let me give you an instance. We're talking about fraud. We just talked about fraud right now in the banking sector. And these people, in quotes, these guys, they call them G guys. Most of them are responsible for these bank frauds. And when they bring the dividends home, their parents, their relatives,
welcome them.
They will welcome them. They will rejoice. They will clap.
My son has done well.
They will do party. Do you understand? Now, do we now call that? So now, most of them will now say, my son is successful. My daughter is successful. Do we call that a good success or a bad success? And that is the question here. I am supporting the opinion of not washing our dirty linen outside. Good. But sometimes Yoruba says bí kíní kan bá ṣe amakasori, bí apá bá ṣe ṣan amakasori. That means if you cannot do something in a way, you have to find a way of doing it. Now, our judicial system is also kind of questionable because we are sensing barbecue. I'm smelling barbecue in our judicial system. So I think that is what Article, and not only, mind you, not only Article is on Tinubu's case. Peter Obi and Labour Party is on Tinubu's case. a whole lot of people are on Tinubu's case. In fact, everybody is now. Let's ask ourselves a honest question. When the president was declared, what is the reaction of the people? Do the people like? Do the people
did they welcome it?
Did they welcome that development? Do you understand? So I think this abnormally around the certificate of the, and there was a time, let me point you a little, I'm sorry for taking time, let me point you a little to when the president's age was declared and that of his daughter was declared. The margin was like a miracle no dey tire Jesus. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it makes it now boils down to why people are asking so many unanswered questions. Why is this? If I say I'm 30 years old and my son is 25, answer that question.
Now you see what I want to add is this, that if it matters in court, we have to be very normal when we are talking about it. This matter is in court, and we allow the court to decide who is the winner or who is the loser. That is really why I don't want to comment much on politicians. Today they will tell you A, tomorrow they will tell you B. And at night, when you go to a very big hotel, you see all of them gather together talking about Nigerian issue. So if there's any matter in court, we have to be very careful to talk about it. Because any matter that is to be decided by the court is not to be judged by anybody who is not.
Until the case has been finalized.
Finalized before we can now talk about it.
All right. Lastly, let's look at the last story that we have on the Nation newspaper. And this says Tribunal sacks Lagos LP rep. The National Assembly Elections Petition Tribunal sitting in Lagos has nullified the return of the Labour Party's LP's candidate, Seyi Sowunmi, as the House of Representative member for Ojo Federal Constituency in Lagos State. Instead, the three-man panel led by Justice Abdullahi Ozegie declared the candidates of the All Progressive Congress APC, Lanre Ogunyemi, as the duly elected candidates of the election conducted on February 25th, 2023. The other members of the panel are Justice Ashiu Ewa and Justice Mohammed Sambo. Ogunyemi, a two-term state lawmaker and former secretary of the APC in Lagos, had challenged the declaration of Sowunmi by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as the winner of the election on the grounds that the respondent was not duly sponsored and qualified to contest the election under the candidate of Labour Party for Ojo Federal Constituency. So this is the last story that we have on the Nation newspaper. Engineer Ola.
Well, if the parties are aggrieved on the ruling of the court, he has room to appeal. You know, he can appeal the judgment of the court, and then they take it off from there. That's my take on that.
to even read that the vote was, declared wasted. Declaring a vote wasted. I mean, there is so much more to this back and forth that we keep having in our elections. When are we going to have an election that is conducted based on free and fair, and then, the masses get to have what they actually voted for being emanated as the winner? So, it really baffles me that we're having cases like this in every aspect of our election. And then we have the INEC, and they are not, they are not meeting up the expectation of the masses. So let me hear from you.
I would know what to say too much, other than that. I think all of the things that are happening right now, maybe with INEC, in the judicial, in the courts, the cases here and there, up and down. In fact, cases now is now everywhere. We don't even know where to put the cases again. You know, everywhere is full and jam-packed with cases and cases and cases and cases. And I think something just dropped in my mind right now and saying that it's a blessing in disguise. Okay, these things are coming up. I think just for us to. There is no way when change wants to happen. Okay,
a lot will be unraveled.
A lot of unraveling. Okay, so that these cases can be solved. That is one. Two, I think these cases are also coming up so that everybody will sit right and know the right things to do. Do you understand? So that next time if you want to do A, B, C, you would know that, okay, so person did it, landed in court, the cases were dragging, scandals everywhere. So you know how to, manage the situation before it gets out of hand. I would just want to appeal to the INEC. The trust of the people are still with them, even though we have questions that we are still asking and then we cannot get answers to. But still, we have no other electoral commission in this country for now, except INEC. So we'll have to use what we have to get what we want. Also, the judicial should also bring back the trust of the people, because right now I think a section of the tribunal is questionable. That people will have to go out of the country, to plead their cases, to appeal to for their cases. So we need to bring back those trusts, and then let's have all these things. Let's just settle. Let's be patriotic. Let's let peace reign in this country.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your amazing and wonderful contribution. So this is where we'll call it a day on today's Morning Dew and newspaper review. So your last word for the people, Engineer.
Well, I would say be Nigeria.
Buy Nigeria.
Buy Nigeria.
Right.
Okay. For today, please go out there, make yourself proud, be happy, and be peaceful. Thank you very much, Nigeria.
Okay, the best that you can do for yourself and for everyone around is to love your neighbor as much as you love yourself. Do not forget, love your neighbor as much as you love yourself, meaning that whatever you do, make sure that love is the main point and the main focus that you dwell on. So to this point, we'll say thank you so much for staying tuned and for joining us. Till we come your way, same time, same station. Thanks for joining us. Bye for now.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So what do we have here? Oh, look at this, look at this, look at this. Digital satellite TV box. Oh, nice. Nice. I got my Morplex decoder. Thank you very, very much. And all of these. Thank you guys for bringing this for me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Morplex TV is the new dawn of pay TV services, redefining African entertainment for every home, with a variety of packages that are pocket-friendly, flexible, and provide maximum entertainment for everyone. Watch out for this. You do not want to miss this. Hop on this train right now.
Morplex.